Title: Creative Shadows and Negative Space Design. Module: Advanced Studio Lighting Control. Shadows are often misunderstood as empty or unwanted areas in photography. In reality, shadows are one of the most expressive and powerful design tools in fine art imagery. They are not the absence of light, they are part of the visual structure that gives meaning to light itself. Creative shadow design begins when you stop trying to eliminate shadows and start learning how to shape them. In studio photography, shadows can be controlled just as precisely as light. Their size, direction, softness, and placement all influence the emotional tone of the image. A well-designed shadow is not accidental. It is intentionally created to support composition and storytelling. One of the most important creative concepts connected to shadows is negative space. Negative space refers to the empty or unoccupied areas in an image. While the subject carries visual weight, negative space provides balance, breathing room, and emotional silence. When used effectively, negative space allows the subject to feel more powerful. The emptiness around the subject draws attention inward, focusing the viewer's eye on shape, gesture, and emotion. In fine art figure photography, negative space is especially important because it allows the human form to stand out without distraction. A simple composition with strong negative space can feel more emotional than a complex scene filled with detail. Shadows play a key role in creating this space. By allowing parts of the subject to fall into darkness, photographers can simplify the composition and direct attention more precisely. Darkness becomes a tool for removal, not loss. Creative shadow design often involves controlling how light falls off across the subject and background. A soft transition between light and shadow creates subtle depth, while a sharp transition creates strong separation and drama. The direction of shadows also influences emotion. Shadows that fall downward tend to feel natural and calm, while shadows cast sideways can feel more dynamic or intense. Upward shadows often feel unusual or unsettling, which can be used intentionally for artistic expression. Another important technique is shadow layering. This occurs when multiple shadows interact within the frame, such as the subject casting a shadow onto the background, while also having internal shadows across the body. These layers create complexity and depth without adding visual clutter. In studio work, even small adjustments can dramatically change shadow behavior. Moving a light slightly higher, closer, or farther away can alter the shape of shadows in a way that completely transforms the composition. Reflectors and flags also play a major role in shadow design. A reflector can soften or partially remove shadows, while a flag can deepen or shape them. These tools allow photographers to sculpt darkness just as they sculpt light. Negative space is not only visual, it is emotional. It gives the viewer time to breathe. It allows silence within the image. Without it, compositions can feel crowded or overwhelming. A strong fine art photograph often contains a balance between presence and absence. The subject provides presence. The shadows and negative space provide absence. Together, they create rhythm and harmony. One of the most advanced skills in photography is learning when to leave space untouched. Not every area needs detail. Not every shadow needs recovery. Sometimes restraint creates stronger impact than control. When photographers begin to understand shadows as active design elements, their work changes significantly. Images become simpler, stronger, and more intentional. Instead of filling every frame with information, they begin to remove what is unnecessary. And in that removal, meaning becomes clearer. Because in fine art photography, what you leave out is just as important as what you include. Shadows are not emptiness. They are structure. A negative space is not nothing. It is where emotion quietly lives.